Defend yourself against DDoS attacks by hiding your true IP address with ExpressVPN, and visit my custom link expressvpn.com/ghilliemaster in the description to find out how you can get an extra 3 months free. Sniping has been and still is a massive component of PvP and PvE within pretty much any of the Rockstar titles, and each game handles snipers in a slightly different way in terms of balancing. When it comes to sniping, it can be a bit tricky to balance. You make snipers too good and they become annoying to go up against with any other weapon, but you make them too weak and they are just useless, like the precision rifle. You don't want either of them. On top of that, there are so many different mechanics that can be implemented in the game to balance out snipers. Things like bullet velocity or bullet drop, strafe speed, flinch when shot while scoped in, aiming idle sway. All of those are utilized in shooters to tweak the balance of sniper rifles in a PvP scenario. And in this video, we're going to go through sniper mechanics within PvP of every Rockstar game, starting with GTA 4 because that was really the first official online GTA game that allowed PvP. Sniping in GTA 4 was pretty standard and on par with the other GTA games prior. Basically, you just scope in with zero strafing allowed, you have to stand still while scoped, and you take your shots. Now, GTA 4 did have an exploit where if you crouch spam while shooting, it significantly increased the fire rate of whatever you are shooting, which made the bolt action in particular a lot better because it otherwise had a very slow fire rate, but if you do the crouch spam thing, you essentially turn it into a semi-auto rifle. But I'm not going to call that an actual mechanic, that was more of an exploit. GTA 4 did have some pretty significant bullet travel time. If you were aiming at moving targets or targets that were very far away, you had to aim a lot in front of them in order to hit them. The problem with GTA 4's way of sniping when it comes to PvP though is that it had a ton of pre-aimers advantage to where, say in a sniper's only TDM, if you come around a corner and someone is already scoped in and waiting for you, you're going to lose that engagement 9 times out of 10 because of the fact that there is no strafing, so it makes you a very easy target for other people to hit while you are scoping in while standing still, and they're already scoped ready for you. Now in any game, yeah, the person that's waiting for you to come around the corner is likely going to have the advantage. But even with a very slight amount of strafing speed, there's always that slight chance that the person could miss the shot and you could win the fight. But that's not the case with GTA 4. This kind of thing was fixed with the original Red Dead Redemption sniping. The scoped rifles in that game, you could now strafe while aiming, while the other mechanics like bullet travel time remained very similar to GTA 4. You still had to lead the target from far away, and if they were moving, but there was less of the pre-aim advantage as before. Even though RDR1 was a very different game than GTA 4 with different weaponry altogether, mechanically they are quite similar. Much like how GTA 5 and RDR2 are mechanically similar in some areas. Now, I'll be honest, I didn't play a whole lot of RDR1 multiplayer back in its prime, so it's actually kind of hard to remember exactly how sniping was. But sniping was pretty strong in the original Red Dead Redemption if you knew what you were doing. Moving on to Max Payne 3, a game which I personally believe has some of the best third-person shooter mechanics and movement of all time. In this game, you could also move while scoped in, however, your strafe speed was decreased a good bit, so you were limited in your mobility while aimed in. On top of that, you also had to unscope to rechamber a round after every shot, and you had flinch that was inflicted on you if you got shot while you were scoped in aiming at someone. The most mechanically advanced sniping in a Rockstar title by far, and is part of the reason why Max Payne 3 is one of the best feeling third-person shooters out there still to this day in my opinion. I do think the snipers were hit scan in this game, but considering it isn't an open world, you're only ever going to be in relatively close quarters to enemies, so that's fine. It's also a much faster paced game than GTA is too. The time to kill is much faster on average, so snipers being entirely hit scan also works fine here. Which brings us to GTA 5's sniping. GTA 5's sniping has gone through the motions over the years, quite literally. On the Xbox 360 and PS3, sniping originally worked like it did in GTA 4. While scoped in, you could not move at all, you had to stand still. The snipers also have bullet travel time, while simultaneously having seemingly infinite range. If you saw someone in a vehicle from across the map, you could likely damage them if you aimed far enough in front of them if they were a moving target. It wasn't until the Xbox One and PS4 versions of the game released when you could now move while scoped in with every sniper rifle in third person, while also introducing the first person camera perspective, which boosted sniping to a whole new level. Sniping in first person not only made it much easier to control your character because you didn't have to play claw or use an alternate control scheme in order to make strafing while sniping easier, you were also much faster, not only in terms of how fast you move in general, but how sudden you can change directions mid-strafe. Paired with the heavy sniper's power at long ranges, and now you had a monster of a combo. Long range fights became a battle of who could outstrafe the other player. Positioning no longer plays a huge part in sniping because you can just strafe to dodge bullets. And this is how it still works as of today. Personally, I think snipers are a bit too good in GTA Online in their current form. And this is coming from someone who does a ton of sniping with over 40,000 heavy sniper kills alone. As much fun as sniping is, I have to admit the strafing is very goofy and is a requirement in order to compete with other snipers. You will not win a sniper duel if you don't strafe, it's as simple as that. However, I do think a big part of snipers being too powerful at ranges is that every other gun does so little damage outside of their optimal range, which is a huge imbalance of weapons in general with GTA Online, but since this video is focused on sniper rifles in general, I'm not going to get into that. With Rockstar's next title following GTA 5, I always thought to myself, would they ever change sniper dancing? Well, with RDR 2, the sniping situation is practically the same as it is in GTA 5, if not worse, because now there is a dedicated crouch button, and if you combine crouching with first-person sniper movement, you are now moving at rapid speeds back and forth while keeping a very low profile to the ground. In that sense, it's almost identical to GTA Online. Now, I'm sure Rockstar were developing the first-person mode for both games at the exact same time, which is likely the reason both games feel very similar in their first-person movement and control. In Red Dead Online's case, though, they did implement something to help counteract the frustrating sniper dance. They eventually added aim assist to sniping, which made it a lot easier to hit targets that you were aiming at. It gave you a rotational aim assist combined with kind of a magnetism effect to your bullets to where if you are slightly off the target, the shot will still connect. At least that's how it felt for me after that change. So while they did make it easier to hit moving targets, the mechanics are still roughly the same where two snipers will just strafe back and forth at long ranges until one finally connects and gets the kill. Looking forward into the future though with GTA 6, I would personally like to see the sniping closely resemble Max Payne 3's feel of sniping. Slow down the strafing speed by a lot, or perhaps allow faster strafing but increase aiming idle sway to decrease accuracy while strafing faster, so there's a trade-off there. Also add flinch to the snipers so when you get shot by another gun while you're aiming in, it throws off the accuracy a bit. One different thing that they could also think about adding in is bullet physics, not just bullet travel time per se like there is now, but bullet drop to make it harder to hit those really long range shots. I simulated this once in GTA 5 through mods where I gave the heavy sniper explosive rounds some bullet drop with a slower velocity at the same time, so mechanics like this can be done in GTA 5's engine, although perhaps that's a bit too much realism for a GTA game. I do think the main culprit here that they need to balance out for GTA 6 is the sniper strafing though. It should not go back to standing still like you are in GTA 4 where you have to stand still while scoped. Something similar to Max Payne 3, as I said, should be very ideal where you just slow down while aiming in. Or perhaps they introduce a weight system to the guns where the lighter the gun, the faster the strafe speed, and with snipers, the heavier, harder hitting rifles you move much slower with, but the lighter ones you can move a tad bit faster with. That system sort of is how it works in GTA 5 right now. You do move slower with the heavy sniper than you do with others in first person, but it is very subtle and still really too fast with the heavy sniper in general. Anyways, I want to hear from you guys down in the comments. What do you think about sniping in GTA 6? Do you hope they change it up a bit and tone down the sniper strafing in favor of a more realistic approach? And I say realistic, but realistically, you wouldn't be strafing with a 50 cal sniper in real life to begin with. You'd have it resting on a bipod somewhere. So I guess more of a regular video game approach to snipers and shooting games as opposed to the super fast strafing we have now. If you enjoyed the video or found it helpful, feel free to leave a like as well as subscribe to my channel for more GTA Online content. I'll have all the links to all the footage that I've used down in the description. I also want to give a huge shout out to all my channel members for your support. If you'd like to become a member for some exclusive perks, you can either use the join button or the link that's down in the description. And as always, thanks for watching and have a great day.